Gender ideologues control the gaming industry. Here's an example, Cyberpunk 2077, a game that I'm rather looking forward to, as, I don't know whether you know this, I'm a rather big fan of Cyberpunk, to the point where I recently ran my own Cyberpunk campaign via livestream to tens of thousands of people to watch, using the original Cyberpunk 2020 rule set, because I'm a fucking hipster. But CD Projekt Red have found themselves in hot water with the gender ideologues because of what they perceive to be a transphobic joke. And you know, if there's one thing they certainly can't do, it's take a goddamn joke. This is the tweet in question. Ryan, I want more guys. Cyberpunk 2077, did you just assume their gender? It's quite a witty response. At the expense of the social justice warriors, even Kotaku, a far-left gaming blog staffed by SJWs, can see that the tweet is not explicitly transphobic. But of course that didn't stop them from using it in the title. The meme being referenced is largely used to belittle or demean concerns of transgender people. That's not true. The meme is used to belittle anyone who believes in far-left ideology and puts their gender pronouns in their fucking bio. Much like saying you've decided to identify as an attack helicopter as a way to mock transgender folks. Again, it's not about mocking transgender folks, it's about mocking politically correct ideologues. And Kotaku knows this because they say the phrase is meant to mock the supposedly fragile ego of Tumblrinas and social justice warriors. Social justice warriors are not all trans, although I think that maybe it should become mandatory for them to be so. But as you point out, it's not about transgenderism, it's about ideology. It's about a certain kind of activist who has been pissing everyone off for such a long time, even the games companies are starting to get in on it. The anti-SJW crowd enjoyed the joke, the SJWs started whining and bitching at the company, and so of course the company deleted the tweet and issued an apology. There's your first mistake. You never apologise to social justice warriors because they don't actually want your apology. Because nothing is actually going to be good enough, as I'm sure we will see. And it also means that you have to do everything that they want from now on. Because if you don't, you are exactly as transphobic as you were admitting you were being when you deleted that tweet. That's the problem that you're having here. You'll notice that id Software, yes, I will actually call it id Software, thank you pedants, they didn't apologise for mocking political correctness in their game, and do the SJWs give a shit? No. They've whined a bit and they've shut the fuck up, because they know that id Software doesn't care, because currently the fanbase is going wild with it and having a great time memeing it up. You'll notice that Doom seems even stronger for this. You seem weak. Sorry to all those offended by one of the responses sent from our account earlier. Harming anyone was never our intention. I'm really excited for your game now. This is the kind of energy your studio puts out. I'm thinking, wow, this is going to be great. And I am serious when I say that gender ideologues control the video game industry. They do. Gamergate failed. Although, you can feel it, can't you? You can feel there's something else coming. A new Gamergate is coming. People are getting pissed off by the way they're being treated. But anyway, this is from Eurogamer, the big Cyberpunk 2077 interview. I'm quite excited about this. This was only yesterday. I'm looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077. I would like to know something about the game. Let's see what Tom Phillips considered important for the audience to know about in his Cyberpunk interview. His first question. It was great to see the demo again, although I was a little disappointed with one of the choices at the end. Without spoiling anything, I'll just say we had the option to fight a certain gang but declined, whereas when I saw the scene at E3 we went straight into the fight. But instead of walking away and insulted us, and we ended up fighting them anyway. Are these really the only options, or is it just for the demo? Good question. They do confirm that it is just for the demo, and the mission will probably give you more choices. Relevant information for me, a player. That's good to know. I wonder what the next question was. The one change that the demo did have is that you can now play a male V as well. I was interested to see that regardless of the gender, you always seem to wake up in this morning with a male companion. Yeah, I'm sure you were interested in that. I'm sure you were very interested in that. Because you have a very different set of priorities to me. In this demo, at least, you will always wake up next to another man so we can show a different kind of relationship and be part of the game. Oh my god, don't start pandering to these people. Obviously, Cyberpunk's going to be full of degeneracy, but if you pander to them, they will expect you to keep doing it. Beyond the point of reason, as we will see in this interview. Right, including the character creator, which we got a glimpse of at the demo start. How far along is that? Is the version we saw close to what we'll see in the final game, or do you have a lot of options yet to add in? Hint, hint. I think it reflects our intention for what we want to do, but definitely still in development. I expect there will be more changes, but some more interesting things, but I would say it reflects our general intention for what we want to give you in the final game. You mean it doesn't have enough gender options, does it? And you're like, I don't want to just say that. Does the interviewer leave it there, though? Do they fuck? I ask because the option in it is to play as male or female character type. The gender binary! If someone wanted to choose a character who's gender fluid, how would you portray that? Asked the Inquisitor. You know, as an example in the character creation, you can do that by not calling the body type that you choose man or woman, and instead just title it body type. Wow, you've already preempted this. But that's not good enough. I didn't write it down when watching the demo, but are they labelled male and female in there currently? Because that's important. I think that's the way it is right now, but we're not saying either. We're basically showing it to you, and you choose which of the bodies you have as the basis to go on and make the character. Does Eurogamer really think that I, as a potential buyer of this game, give a shit whether the transgender options choose between two different body types and whether these are labelled male or female? Because let's be fair, that might be inaccurate. That might be in some way in violation of gender ideology. Do you think I give a shit about that? And the person being interviewed sounds uncomfortable through the text. I think that's the way it is right now. We're not saying either. We're basically showing it to you, and you choose which of the bodies you have as a basis to go on, then make the character. You weirdo. But it just keeps going. Beyond aesthetics, could you choose to have a different pronoun? Fucking dude! Are you really just going to sit here and answer question after question about gender ideology in a video game magazine interview about your fucking game? Like, are you going to sit there and just be like, yeah, I guess, but apparently you are. I honestly don't know yet. Of course you don't fucking know. Why would you have thought about this? I know plenty of fans would appreciate that. Yeah, sure you fucking do. Interviewer, Tom. I bet you know loads of fans would appreciate that. I bet that's representative of most of the fan base, and certainly not a cabal of far-left ideologues in the gaming press. Holy crap. But anyway, after all, you have a main character with a name that doesn't specify any gender, because this is so goddamn important. We are on, what, the 6th question about this now? Well, exactly, that's why we chose that name, because V works for male and works for female. I thought it would be a good option. And the interviewer interrupts him saying, for gender fluid as well. So far, he has answered one question about the gameplay experience for the players. Every other question has been about social justice ideology. But anyway, is that for gender fluid as well? Yeah. And finally, after the important questions have been asked, we get to things that are clearly not that important. Another big part of your character in the pen and paper game is the danger of developing cyberpsychosis. Is it a gameplay mechanic? And apparently it is. The next question is about corporate dystopias and transhumanism. Again, a decent question. Why this came so far down in the article when at this point, honestly, if I didn't know what this article was about, I would have stopped reading. A question about net running, which is a great thing to ask about because it's a very interesting answer, because I, as a player, am very concerned about what they're going to do with net running. And then finally a question about the skills and the size of the map. This interview shows you the primacy with which gender ideology is treated in the video game industry. When they tweet something that might be mildly offensive to a social justice warrior, they have to delete it and apologise. When they are interviewed by a far-left press outlet, they are interrogated about social justice and feminism for the first 6 questions. This is ridiculous, and game developers should remember that only around 3% of the people who buy games read the press. Most people get their games through word of mouth, through seeing them advertised, through any other medium than someone like Eurogamer or Kotaku. You should remember that. I bet Doom Eternal sells better than Doom 2016 because of the counter-signaling to the anti-SJW crowd. And it's when I say the anti-SJW crowd, I just mean people who are sick of being preached at by the fucking far left. People who know these people don't really have any particular place in the video game industry. Their entryism has not been because of the quality of their work, it's been because of their connections. It's been because people don't know how to defend themselves from their attacks. Like Rockstar already had, id Software have discovered that you just don't pay attention to their bullshit. Just mock them, just laugh in their face, and they will leave you alone.